So to start with, this is the only slide I have in Polish, but I think it is really crucial, and that's why I want you to read it. Abortion is a matter of fact, and it is the most frequently performed surgical intervention in obstetrics and gynecology, period, regardless whether it is legal or illegal. So we cannot, by making it illegal, we cannot put it away, we can only make it more dangerous. But if we start to discuss abortion, we need to understand what it is, and we need to know the past to understand the present, so that we can possibly shape the future. And I would like to go with you through these three stages in a very short talk. The past was characterized by domination of women. Women were dominated and patronized, especially in their reproductive health. That was the main feature of the past. And it is important to keep in mind that the origin of restrictions in access to contraception and abortion, the origins were in military considerations. If you look back in history, there was never any concern for women's health, there was never any concern for ethical issues. It was for military purposes, period. The monarchies, dictatorships, and war-leading countries needed soldiers. That's what it was. Maybe you won't believe me. I would like to share with you a few examples from my own home country. This is a letter from 1916, in the middle of the First World War. My Ministry of War, as it was called in 1916, the Austrian Ministry of War, they write a letter to the Ministry of Interior, and the letter reads, "In view of the great losses of the most valuable human material caused by the war, the military command has to strengthen all measures that will lead to a replacement at reduced cost, and the society as a whole can develop, because suddenly couples can control their fertility. But we are faced with remnants of these medieval paternalistic restrictions." One aspect which is very important in this debate is what I call the war of pictures. On the left side you see a picture from this film. I call it a propaganda film, Silent Scream. You may know it. It's claiming to be about an abortion. Actually, it is a late-term abortion for medical reasons. On the right side you have a gestational sac at 6 weeks pregnancy from one of my patients. So this is what an abortion nowadays looks like. There is no heart rate, there is no fetus visible. It is a gestational sac. If the woman comes 1 week earlier, it is 5 weeks. The gestational sac is a friction of that. So that's what we are talking about. Just to remind you that legal abortion is a European standard confirmed by the European Council 2 years ago. Access and to safe and legal abortion in Europe should be guaranteed. That was decided, and you can read that on the website. Obviously, this is not the case in all countries, and therefore women have been traveling and are still traveling through Europe. And if you put together the abortion tourism of the last 50 years, you come up with a crisscrossing of Europe. It is incredible how our society is forced and still force women to travel through Europe using social codes, and there is nothing societies can do. Nowadays we have the internet, and we are trying to help women over the internet. We translated the information on abortion, and you can also see the gestational sac, so that women at least can access the information these days. And women in the first place. Currently, a woman is at the last place. All the society decides over women. That cannot bring a good outcome. So how can we guarantee a high standard in medical or in the abortion care? Not by regulating the procedure by law, but by giving patients and the providers the freedom to apply evidence-based medicine. Just to remind you, Canada is one of the countries where there's no abortion law since more than 20 years. There's just no law on abortion, just like there is no law on appendectomy. There is no law on abortion, and still Canada doesn't need a law. So I think to come to an end, we need to keep in mind that women are the best place to take a responsible decision. And I'm saying that as a man, because we should not forget as men that women get pregnant with our help after all. So it should be our obligation to support women in their decision process and not to patronize them. And I would like to finish with this citation from a Swedish activist. I dream of a day when all children are wanted, when men and women are equal, and when sexuality is considered to be the expression of love, happiness, and closeness. Thank you very much for your attention.
Dziękuję bardzo.